We've talked so much about Manchester City. I need to ask about the other half of Manchester, the red half. Their season, I mean, by their standards, it's their worst, statistically speaking as well, Lee. I mean, what is going on there?
Yeah, I just think there's lots that have been under the surface at Manchester United, and you know, for a club of that stature, of that nature, they have to get things right. And I think when we touch on bringing players into the football club, right players that suit the football club, managers that are given a chance, that are given a platform to build off, I think that's where they haven't got it right. You know, when we touch on Klopp, touch on Pep, you know, they have done it exactly how you should run a football club, and unfortunately Manchester United have gone the opposite way. They've tried to buy their way in, and they haven't bought the correct players, in my view, and I feel that they're going to have to strip it back. I think that the new man coming in has to be given time. I don't think they'll win the Premier League for quite some time, but they have to get that recruitment right, and that's important.
Imagine the pressure if he's sat in 6th position or 5th position. You say about time when he's made those changes, whether he goes a little bit of younger players, depending on what recruitment, what they do. I just think, I don't think Manchester United will agree to this time. Do you know, let's have time. If they're not in that top 4, yeah, straight away lose a couple of games, the pressure is going to be right on yet again.
I got to also ask, I mean, maybe Ralph Rangnick hasn't helped himself this season. For one, this is not his fault, though. The players knew he wasn't going to be permanently there. They knew he had the title interim manager. Maybe if he had done exceptionally well, he would have had it in the long term, but that's not the case. Also, some of his press conferences are very, very open. I mean, even yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, he's talking about Ronaldo and not being a pressing monster, I think was his words.
Well, he's in a situation, whether he's frustrated that he hasn't got the job full time, I don't know, but he's obviously not mixing his words. He's being honest about his approach, you know, players that could have been at the football club that he spoke about, you know. Like I said, I just think there's a lot wrong at Manchester United.
Would you be annoyed if your manager, if your gaffer was going out on a Friday before a match and saying, oh yeah, I think Lee could have done better, I think Lee could have done this?
Of course you would. You'd be disappointed, and that's why I think that the structure that they've got at the football club, this is why they're not being successful. I mean, do you ever see Pep Guardiola saying stuff like that? Klopp, you don't, because, you know, the professionalism that rinses through the changing room from the staff into the players, it's got to be correct. So you cannot be doing them things, and that's why I just feel that they've got to get this situation. I know you said about time, but how are they going to keep chopping, changing managers? Who are they going to? That's why I think there has to be a direction, Brownie, whether it's a season, 2 seasons. Yes, if they're not getting it right the first season, I don't feel that they're going to get it right next season.
Well, Richard Arnold's came in, he's the CEO, so he's heading up, obviously, you give the football side your money to say, well, here you go, this is what you're going to do, because who's making these decisions? Johnny Murtagh, Director of Football, brought in Darren Fletcher to help him along the way, so that Manchester United link, that youngster who's got that bit of credibility with the players, so they think they've got a good team there. But then they go along the lines of having a manager that's just until the end of the season. Michael Carrick sat there in the building. Would that have been a one? We'll say Michael's just going to have it for the time being. We're going to continue with that, develop Michael a little bit better, make him obviously get used to some games, and at that point we're going to make the decision. They all end in how long it took to actually make the decision on a new manager was remarkable. We're seeing them lose to Liverpool all of a sudden and up the ante, then they have to make the decision. Why did they do it then? Was it for fine? Did they give the manager more money? Did they give him more decision making? What changed and made it so quick? I don't know. I think there's big problems there, and I think we're all talk about time and everything's going to just change straight away. Question marks of players, they're all having to go at Harry Maguire. Is it Ronaldo the right person? It's just ultimately you can look and dig deep as much as you want when you're not winning games, and that is the problem with them. And I don't know where it's going to change. Recruitment will be so tough for them.
Yeah.
The same. I think there's too many players that underperform. You know, you look at Marcus Rashford. You know,
away from home, Lee. How can they lose all those games away? 4 goals each time, you know.
Listen, like I said, you strip it back and you have to restart, and that's why I think they have to do that. I'm not one for time. I think all fans want it straight away. The club, on alone, you know, your expectancy to bring in big players. And let's face it, we've got some big players at that football club. But I just think they've got to spend wisely. They've got to start recruiting better, because that's what the difference is with the Manchester Cities, the Liverpool. The recruitment is first class.
Okay, put me in the dressing room right now of all the clubs you've been at, because I'm looking at this from the outside and the multiple reports, and compared to other clubs, it seems like it's a very fractured dressing room as well. It seems like there's too many cliques, there's too many little groups that are doing their own thing, and they're not combining as a unit.
You've got two superstars, haven't you? You've got Pogba, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo. They will demand so much from their teammates, and when they're not winning, frustration will kick in. And that's what creates that difficult. Then everything starts being pointed at the skipper, Harry Maguire. They start questioning the goalkeeper, defensively, holding midfield players who are actually trying to run around and do the right thing, but they're saying, well, they're not attractive enough for Manchester United, some of these players. But they've got to have some legs. Away from home, out of possession, they've got too many who can't get the ball back, so they need to change something. So there is that. Fernandes has been questioned, which side of where is he at? Is he not getting, since Ronaldo's come? It's just very, very disjointed and very messy. And the other thing as well is, why are all the noises coming out of Manchester United? Why is it not kept in-house? It needs cleaning up. They need to just get on with the job. It will take time. It will be difficult. Everything keeps coming out.
I think the other thing is, what sort of players do they attract?
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about Manchester United. You would never think that, but what sort of players do they actually attract? Who can they get into the football club? There was talk about Declan Rice. Would he want to be going to Manchester United?
There's also Champions League.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Or lack of Champions League.
So all these things are not going in the favour of Manchester United. So I feel it's going to be a big job.
So is Declan Rice going there for a 5-year contract if he's going to go? If we see him go there, it's for a really lucrative deal, surely. Like you said, I think there's other choices of clubs you'd be looking at thinking, as a Declan Rice, I'll go and pick them. Do Manchester United need Declan Rice? Yes, they do. So do they go and break the bank? But then the player's decision, is it financial, or does he really believe that's the right club to go and win things? Or does he go in and look at Harry Maguire and go, Harry Maguire's done exactly the same thing. Do I want to be that person, or do I stay at West Ham, continue, wait for the right one? And that's the difficulty they've got.
That's the difficulty right there.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it seems to be sometimes maybe it's not about the pay package, maybe because it still is Manchester United. Look, we're here at the Etihad and we're talking about Manchester United. Is there an ego-driven aspect of being the one that can fix it, the one that can be the key signing, the one that can be the manager that takes them back to the top? Surely that plays a part.
It has to be. You look at Liverpool, and to be fair, they were obviously mulling around, top 10s, not getting great finishes. But then they brought the manager, and I think almost the pressure had gone away. It had been that long for Liverpool. They almost could just come in and just Phil to do his job, where at Manchester United, so big at the situation and sitting in time now, that's never going to drop at this moment.
Yeah.
It's going to be right on them from the first game kicking off. They've got to win.